What's up YouTube, Capital G here. We're talking OCG ban list, and oh my goodness, this is crazy. For starters, earlier in the day, actually late last night, I had heard that the OCG ban list had been leaked. It couldn't be confirmed, but it was supposed to be leaked by a well-known guy. I think his name was like Snake or something. I can't remember it for the life of me off of the top of my head. He was supposed to basically have the inside knowledge to what it was. And what made it look very, I guess, suspicious was the fact that Konami was bringing back a lot of ban cards. And I'm not talking about ones like Tribe Infecting Virus or... I'm trying to think of another one that wouldn't be that crazy. Sinister Serpent. I'm talking about shit like Chaos Emperor Dragon. I'm talking about this shit where you're like, man, how are they ever going to bring that back? But you do have to remember, Konami said some time ago they want every single card on the ban list to eventually come back into circulation. And I've always kind of wondered how the hell they're going to do that with cards like Painful Choice, Sixth Sense, Chaos Emperor Dragon. I mean, just a few cards. Dimension Fusion would be another one where I'm just like, I don't understand how they could ever bring those cards back. So basically what they're doing is they're now going to use the Errata'd on these cards. They're essentially changing their effects to water them down. And I think Konami realizes this is the only way we can bring these cards back. And at first I was like, this is fucking crazy. What precedent is there for this? And then I was like, oh, wait a minute. They just did that with Dark Strike Fighter. Even though it's not legal in the TCG, it has been errated in the TCG, and Dark Strider in the OCG. I mean, oh my god, it's like, why would you ever summon that thing? Even in the TCG, well, we can't, but I mean, if you look at the Errata'd, I think it's, you can only use it once per turn, and it's only in main phase 1, and you like don't get your battle phases and shit like that. It's like, oh my god, it's nowhere near the Dark Strike Fighter that we knew and loved during the Synchro Cap Blackwing format, where you could just fucking attack with everybody and then launch your whole board for game with Dark Strike Fighter. Okay, so the OCG list is as follows, and this is why I don't usually do OCG videos, but I feel like if Konami is going to set a precedent by doing this, that this is gonna just leak into the TCG. Like if we now can errata cards to water them down and bring them back, this opens an entire new world for Yu-Gi-Oh! Newly Forbidden, Heavy Storm. I mean, okay, that's cool. I'm not super familiar with the OCG. My understanding was like Evac is at 3 over there, so I mean, I think Evac was the most played trap, and I guess, you know, there's not any, like, I don't really think anybody plays artifacts anymore over there because Muratech got hit, so I don't really know if you can use artifacts to counter it. I mean, I kind of get that. I kind of wish that Heavy Storm would be legal in the TCG because, like, Burning Abyss, too many traps. Newly limited, Chaos Emperor Dragon, and again, that's mind fucking blown, but that card has been errated. We'll get to that. And then here's, man, they went fucking in on Nekroz. Anybody looking to pick up Nekroz, you might want to hold tight on that. Manju of the 10,000 hands is restricted to 1. Senju of the 10,000 hands is restricted to 1. Sinister Serpent is restricted to 1. I think that may have been errated. I'm not 100% sure. I don't actually think it has been errated. I'm looking on Pojo and they don't have a star by it, so we'll look at that one in a second. Blaze Phoenix, the Burning Bombardment Bird. I think that's because that lame ass like FTK. I don't understand why they didn't just ban it, but maybe you need multiples to do the like the combo. It revolves around chain material and stuff like that, if I'm not mistaken. The Nekroz Armor of Unicore. Wow. Harpie's Feather Duster. Oh my god. So they got rid of Heavy Storm and brought back Feather Duster. Okay. Instant Fusion. I'm sorry, just too much Nodin. That card is dumb. I mean, maybe Nodin would have been the right hit. I actually campaigned for Instant Fusion to get hit during the like Infernity format, like a couple formats ago when Infernity were just the fucking nuts. Preparation of Rites. Again, more Nekroz hits. Symbol of Heritage. I'm not totally sure about that one. Is that Nekroz? You guys let me know. Super Poly, basically just heroes and Shadows. Shadows are still pretty decent in the OCG, and I mean, the card has to go to 1. It's a spell speed 4. Temple of the Kings, that's a card that, if I'm not mistaken, was never legal in the TCG, not even for a second. I believe it was banned the second it was released. That has been errated. Crush Card Virus, oh shit, but it's been errated. Exchange of the Spirit has been errated, and little do you guys know, this is my favorite card in the entire game. If it comes to the TCG, I might fucking shit a brick. Ring of Destruction. Now, they have significantly watered it down, but I don't give a fuck. You can tell me Destruction is bad. I don't give a fuck. Ring is so good. I love that card. There is nothing greater than attacking your opponent with a big-ass monster like a BLS and then ringing that shit for game. So sick. I don't think you can do it anymore, though. But anyways, newly semi-limited in the OCG, Atlantean Dragoons, Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Rooster, Inzektor Hornet. That's one I'm going to actually campaign on my TCG list for. Big Eye. What is Big Eye at in the TCG? Is he? I don't even know. Monster Gate. I don't think those make that big of a difference. Newly unlimited. Card Trooper. Okay. Chronomaly. Nebra Disc. I keep hearing about this card and how great it is. I don't know anything about it because it's not in the TCG. I don't know where you use it. All I know is it's supposed to be like really, really good. Lonefire Blossom, TG Striker, Tragoedia, Ophion, A Hero Lives, Hieratic of Convocation, and Ojama Trio. Okay, now I'm going to go to YG Organization and try to get some translations on some of these cards. Okay, so Ring of Destruction has been errated to, you can only activate one Ring of Destruction per turn. During your opponent's turn, wow, so I guess you can't activate it during your turn. During your opponent's turn, target one face-up monster your opponent controls whose attack is lower than or equal to your opponent's life points. Destroy that face-up monster, and if you do, you take damage equal to the monster's original attack, and if you do that, inflict damage equal to, or to your opponent equal to the damage you took. Okay, so basically, it looks like A, you can only ring your opponent's monsters, and B, you can only activate Ring of Destruction on your opponent's turn. So basically, you can't do the broke shit that I was talking about. You basically can't go summon Dark Arm, attack, and then ring Dark Arm for 56. You can't do that anymore, which it would be crazy in Burning Abyss because you attack with Dante and then blow your Dante up and then search and then get like a Sur off of Dante, and it's like just a stream of fucking attacks. But yeah, and now you can't ring your opponent for game either, because if your opponent is at like 2,500, you can't ring their BLS. Okay, Crush Card Virus. Tribute one dark monster you control with 1,000 attack or less. Check your opponent's hand and all monsters they control. Destroy all monsters with 1,500 attack or more. This sounds exactly the same. Then your opponent can destroy up to 3 monsters with 1,500 attack or more from their deck. After you activated this card, all damage your opponent takes for the rest of the turn becomes 0. Oh my god. They neutered the fuck out of Crush Card Virus. Okay, so basically, Crush Card Virus it has the same kind of activation condition, basically where you know, you get to look at your opponent's hand, you get to nuke their board for all their big monsters, but they basically look in their deck and they blow up 3 monsters instead of getting to see their draws for the next 3 turns. Like even if you didn't hit monsters with the original Crush card, getting the information of what your opponent drew was huge. And I would guess that like it's even worse because if you're playing against like Burning Abyss, I guess they could like destroy a Graft, or excuse me, they could destroy like a Sur. I think Sur is 1,600, right? They could like destroy a Sur in their deck and then trigger it. So that would be awful. I would totally not play Crush Card Virus anymore. Unless I was like, if I was playing like Burning Abyss and I was like playing against Sertelanites, maybe I would play it. Like it's kind of like a field nuke on my opponent's turn. You know what I mean? Because I can hit Una, I can hit Altier, and I can hit Deneb. So that's legit. But you don't get the craziness. You know what I mean? It's not as crazy as it was before. Temple of the Kings. You can only use 1 Temple of the Kings effect per turn, and only once that turn. That's probably different than the original print. You can activate 1 trap you control during the turn it is set. Okay, you can activate 1 trap you control during the turn it was set. You can send both this card and 1 face-up mystical beast, Skirkit, to the graveyard. Special summon 1 monster from your hand, deck, or fusion. Or let's see. Oh, okay, yeah. You can summon 1 monster from your hand, deck, or fusion from your extra deck. Alright, so Temple of the Kings, if I'm not mistaken, and I'm kind of trying to remember Temple of the Kings verbatim, I believe it originally let you just activate as many traps as you want for like an entire turn. and you could just do like a whole bunch of nutty shit. It seems like they watered it down. But, and I believe with the original Temple of the Kings, I think it was when it was destroyed, just the card itself was destroyed, you got that second effect of summoning monsters from basically anywhere. Now you have to send this card, and you have to send that mythical beast, which no one ever fucking plays, to activate that effect. So Temple of the Kings is now completely just worthless. Exchange of the Spirits. This card got errated too. You can only activate one exchange of the spirit per duel. Wow. So, if it gets trap stun, just fuck it. I guess you just get wrecked. If each player has 15 or more cards in their graveyard, pay 1,000 life points. Both players swap cards in their decks with cards in their graveyard, then shuffle the decks. So, ew, you can't FTK your opponent, because before you could just load your graveyard up. Now both players have to have 15. So, I mean, like, the FTK is basically killed. And then Sinister Serpent has also been errated. You can only use the effect of Sinister Serpent once per turn. During your standby, if this card is in your grave, add this card to your hand. During your opponent's next end phase, banish Sinister Serpent from your graveyard. So, wow. I'm trying to think of how you could use Sinister Serpent now. That's kind of crazy, because if you go, I guess, technically +1, but then it banishes itself during your opponent's next end phase. So it's like you have to find some way of getting that motherfucker back into your hand before that happens. Otherwise, he's just dead. Sinister Serpent is not totally awful, though, with this errata. It's not, like, completely useless. I would say Ring of Destruction is still pretty playable, in my opinion. Crush Card Virus, I don't know about, and I think Exchange and Temple of the Kings are just, those cards are just absolutely booty now. Let me know what you guys think. This is crazy, and let me know what you guys think of this potentially happening to the TCG. Thank you guys for watching, as always.